now we're gonna get our little acceleration here in the 2500. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be going over a 2020 Ram 2500 Laramie, and more importantly we're basically be going over if now is the time to purchase a heavy duty Ram. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Provo for providing us with the truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. Obviously they have this really cool blue one, and you can see over there they've got a bunch of other heavy duties, so check them out. So under the hood of this Ram 2500, we have the 6.7 liter Cummins inline six. Power outputs are 370 horsepower and then 850 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you get a 3500 with the Ison, you cannot get an Ison in 2500 sadly, but if you do get a 3500 with the Ison, you get 1,000 pound-feet of torque and then 400 horsepower. Going over the front end of this truck, if you're wondering what color it's finished in, it's called Hydro Blue, and you guys know I'm all about crazy colors. It looks absolutely fantastic. But you can see you've got full LED lights here at the front. If you're wondering why the lights look like they're flickering, that is just the frame rate on the camera versus the LED lights. So in real life, they don't actually flicker like that, just so you guys know. Anyways, you've got these lines all across the grille that are finished in chrome. You can get like a sport appearance package, which will make this all body colored, or you can get a night edition, which will make the front part of the grille black and then everything else kind of like body colored and blacked out. Fog lights here at the bottom. You've got your tow hooks there as well, and then you got the 2500 badging there on the side, and that's everything for the front. Now around the side here we have 18-inch wheels, and then wrapped around that is 275mm tires in the front and in the rear as well. And the observant viewer will notice that this truck has these little blue shocks that kind of match the blue paint, which again, that's why the spec is so cool. This one does have the off-road package, so you do get the heavy-duty shocks that'll obviously help this do a little bit better on the off-road. In terms of suspension, the 2500s have the coilover suspension, 3500s have the leaf springs, and then for the rest of the side you got the Cummins badge there on the side, you got the little Ram badge there as well, and then here's a full side view on the truck, and you can see the 4x4 off-road badge there. Here is the key fob on the Ram 2500. You can see that you've got the Ram badge there on the back. A couple functions on the front. You've got the unlock, the lock, remote start. Remote start's pretty straightforward. Just press that twice. First time we'll lock it, and then second time we'll start it up. If it's in the winter time, it will do the diesel preheat for you. I'll get you guys an exhaust clip a little bit later. Hold that down again and it'll shut it off. If you press that function twice, that'll actually slow lower down the tailgate. This one doesn't have a bed liner, but they're super easy to add. You can get it as an option from the factory. And you guys can see everything else in the bed. So you've got the little cargo tie downs that you can use there on the bed as well. And it's just kind of cool to see like a blue bed. It's absolutely crazy. In terms of the tailgate, super light, really easy to lift up and put into place. Now let's finish things up in the rear. So again, 4x4 off-road badging, full LED lights here on the Laramie, and then you've got the regular Laramie badging. Got the chrome bumper there in the rear, with the parking sensors integrated there at the bottom. This one, if you're wondering, has a 6'4" bed. You can also get an 8-foot bed as an option, but most people will get this configuration, crew cab with a 6'4" bed, and that's everything for the rear. Coming here to the back, you guys can see that we've got the suede inserts here that come with the Laramie, and then the wood trim above with all the stitching, and then you got all the leather trim as well. And then coming to the rest of the seat, you can see again full leather with the suede inserts all there throughout the seat, and it's actually pretty nice and soft to the touch. Now let's actually pop in. So stepping up, step in height, I mean, yeah, definitely recommend side steps, but I'm 5'11", I've got a good amount of leg room. In terms of the headroom, that's also solid as well. And then I've got this nice wood trim all around with the little USBs and a full power outlet. And guess what? The Rams have a little bucket right there. So you got a little ice bucket, which is just like a little extra storage area. And then in terms of the storage under the seats, if you lift up the seat, you can see that you've got this that you can fold out to be flat. The subwoofer is under that side, on the other side is just storage, but yeah, you can fold this out to be like a little flat tray. You just pick up these little stands on the back of it. Pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory, and it's everything for the back. Coming here to the front, you do have keyless entry, and then you guys can see here we've got the mirror. We've got a little convex mirror on the side, and then the blind spot monitor inside of it. And then flipping the mirror up, you can see it's got the little trailer mirror function. Now this particular mirror is power folding here on the heavy duties, which is pretty nice. Just press that little button right there and then it'll fold it in. Now this button right here, that actually adjusts the convex mirror, and then if you can do regular adjustment, you just do the regular thing right there. Again, full power folding, you got all your window controls, and then you can see the rest of the door panel. We've got the wood trim, suede insert, and then the leather with all of the stitching. You can see the seats before we pop in. You got a little Laramie logo there at the top with all of the suede that goes throughout, and again, really soft to the touch. You got full power adjustments on the seats. Got the little pedal layout there at the bottom, and then you got your light controls here with the fog lights and then the cargo light adjustments for the pedals. And let's pop in again. So stepping in, Yeah, definitely takes a second, not too bad, but starting her up is pretty easy. Foot in the brake, pushy push start. And thank goodness I can have my air conditioning and air conditioned seats be, well, not mine, Dodge Ram and Provo's air conditioning and air conditioned seats, because it's hot outside today. 93 degrees. Now here is the steering wheel in the 2500. You can see you've got the cruise control over here. You've got the little gear selector just down below, voice commands and phone controls. And this is for the little center stack. Radio controls in the back of the steering wheel. It is a column shifter here with the 2500. And then other than that, pretty straightforward, smooth leather all around. Feels really nice to the touch, and I think it looks cool, guys. Now we have the gauge cluster here. So you've got RPMs over there on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed, and then there in the center, you can see that you can see different bits of information on the vehicle, like the fuel economy, which, I mean, that's pretty good right now. I mean, the truck doesn't have many miles. It's got 13 miles, but to be averaging already 16.9, I'd say that's pretty dang solid. But yeah, that's the whole center cluster for you on the Ram 2500. Now here's the center screen for this Laramie. You can get the 12-inch display in the Laramies, but this one has the 8.4-inch. I do prefer this screen. I'll go over that in just a moment. But you can see response time on everything is really solid, and you can see that you've got some pretty cool stuff. Obviously heated, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, surround camera system, all the different cameras. You guys have seen those in a bunch of my other reviews, so I won't bore you too much with that, but really good touchscreen, really responsive. And now into the reason why I like this screen over the 12-inch is I like having physical buttons for pretty much everything, and you get physical buttons for the radio, for the seat controls, for the climate controls. Now you do get climate and radio controls, but you don't get the seat controls with the 12-inch display, so that's big to me because I hate having to go through a touchscreen just to get the seats on. So it's nice that you can just boom, pop in, turn the seat on, and get on your way. Now here is the little parking sensor. You've got your tow haul mode, you've got the diesel exhaust brake, and then you got the trailer brakes right here. You've got the two-wheel drive, four-wheel high, four-wheel low, and then you've got the hill descent control with the true neutral. And then coming to this little area, you've got a couple of little USB ports, and then you've got the whole center console with the stitching right here. And then you can see right there, you've got little USB measuring tables in the back. This slides backwards and forwards, and you can get a little power outlet down there. Pretty neat. Now a couple random things. Wood trim up here is cool. Got a little charging station up there. Glove boxes, pretty cool as well. Lined with felt. Says Laramie on it, so you can show everyone that you're a baller and you drive a Laramie. And then finally up top here, you can see that this one doesn't have a sunroof, but all of them get power sliding rear windows. You can get a sunroof, just a regular one, no panoramic option is available. Now that we're done going over the interior, let's quickly get into pricing on the truck. So this particular Laramie stickers for about $68,000 for any type of market adjustment. If you want to get the most up-to-date price on this specific truck, again, check out the inventory in the description below. But in terms of the heavy-duty trucks, the price range is absolutely massive. If you get like a base model two-wheel drive truck with a gas engine, you're literally in the $30,000 range. Whereas if you get a fully loaded, dually limited with every option, you're over $90,000. So yeah, there's a huge price range on the heavy-duty truck. So it just depends on how many options you get and what you want. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Now let's quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in this 2500. You can see visibility over the hood is pretty easy to tell where the truck ends and all that, not bad at all. Those mirrors on the sides show absolutely everything, and that's one of the things I love about these trailer mirrors. Then here's all the visibility all throughout the rear. That all being said, let's set off. We are setting off here in this Ram 2500, and oh my goodness, it is blisteringly hot today. I say that in like every review, like, oh hey, maybe it's gonna be cool in the summer, but yeah, it's hot. But anyways, with this truck, first setting off, let's just quickly get into the stuff that I kind of like about the heavy duty from like the driving perspective. So the first thing is the 2500s are super smooth. The new 3500s though are actually pretty smooth as well. And so just like as an all-around, just like daily driver truck, it's really solid just from a ride quality perspective. And it definitely drives smaller than it is. And so it doesn't feel like this is big, like lumbering thing that's really hard to drive. It's actually pretty easy to drive. And then from like the handling and all that, it actually is okay. Obviously there's a little bit of vagueness, but it's not too bad by any means. And that's kind of like from the initial driving stuff. You guys can see as I go through this roundabout that we always go down or through here in Provo. Yeah, the truck just handles so well, goes through it perfectly fine, no problems at all. And before we get into the acceleration, I'll kind of get into my first thing with the trucks in terms of purchasing them right now. So the first thing is The 2019s to 2020s, they didn't make a ton of changes. They just basically added some colors, different appearance packages. But obviously the 2020 is the second model year, so I always recommend, if you have waited up to this point, the second model year is gonna be great because it's given Ram a time, or some time, to basically work out the kinks in the truck. We're gonna get our little acceleration here in the 2500. Yeah, that torque is crazy. Sorry I couldn't go like full on. Obviously there's someone in front of me you guys can see. But yeah, tons of torque. Even with the 68 RFE, it still is more than enough torque. 850 pound-feet is a ridiculous amount. I really don't feel like I need that much more. And from the towing capacity perspective, these 2500s, obviously you're gonna be limited by the lower payload compared to the 3500, but these trucks still tow a really, really good amount. They still tow over 17,000 pounds. Sorry, that person was driving awkwardly slow, and I don't know what, they stopped like in the middle of the road. It's kind of distracting. But yeah, the towing capacity is still really solid on these trucks. Obviously the payload's a little bit less compared to the 3500, but it's still pretty solid. And so let's get into, like, obviously if you should buy this truck now. So like I said, the second model year, so I think it's a great route to go because they've had some time to work out all of the kinks. And then with everything that's happened in the market right now, there's not a ton of supply with these trucks. So if you're looking at getting one, I'd get one while you can still get one, if that makes sense, right? While there's still availability on lots. Now, a lot of you will be asking about the 2021s. I have heard some rumors that they might make some slight changes to the 2021s. Nothing confirmed, just heard some slight rumors. Not confirmed. So is it worth waiting? I don't think so. If you want to get this truck, I'd get it now, and I really wouldn't worry about the future too much because manufacturing is going really slow. They're gonna spend time getting out this current truck before they worry about changing anything. That's all I have to say. That is gonna sum things up for our video on the 2020 Ram 2500 Laramie, and more importantly, if you should or should not buy a heavy duty at this point. A huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Provo for providing us with the truck. Again, check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in the next video.